Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. Wow, pro split there from Dimaga. This time, Game 3 of the best of 3 series between Dimaga spawning as the red Zerg and Elfi spawning as the blue Protoss. This is going to be a Black Dragon League game, and Elfi was able to even up the series in the last one. If you haven't checked out the first 2 games of the series, be sure that you do that. It's going to add a lot of context to this third game here, as Elfi was able to even it up at the start with a quick 4-gate rush. He actually deceived Dimaga. Dimaga thought he was going for a 3-gate expand as Elfi placed down the pylon at the bottom of his ramp and had a few sentries out, and Dimaga just over-droned a little bit, and then the 4-gate was able to wipe him in that second game. So we are on blistering sands here. We do have the backdoor rocks to deal with, and this is a map which has been dropped out of the ladder pool. Blizzard saying they didn't want too many rush-like maps on the ladder, not as many 2-player starting position maps. As we see Elfi now maybe getting down this gateway. Yes, he's going to go for the gateway first, no Forge first play. So I imagine he may be going for the 3-gate expand once again, as I don't think Dimaga will be falling for the 4-gate or the fake 3-gate once again, as Dimaga is getting up his fast gas, and he's going to use that to get speed out in the early going so that he's able to control the game with those early speedlings. He's going to grab both those towers if he's able, and then continue to roam around the map. Shut up, cat. Continue to roam around the map looking for proxy pylons, making sure that Elfi is not going for any sort of cheesy play. So we see Elfi making his way into Dimaga's base, and he's pretty much going to see the same thing he did in the first 2 games. He's going to see that gas already being mined there, as well as the spawning pool about halfway done. Back home at his base, he's gotten up his own gas, and he's going for a cybernetic score. Now that gas was a little bit early there, so he is going to have enough gas when the cybernetic score does finish to begin both warp gate tech as well as a opening sentry. So if Elfi gets out his first zealot here and then another sentry, I imagine he will be going for that 3-gate expand. Right now, just delaying the expansion of Dimaga as long as he can. But Dimaga going pool first, he's going to be able to get out a few Zerglings. He's coming out with the same 4 Zerglings, which he has been in the first and second game. He's going to use those Zerglings to take down the probe, to gather insight or intel or all around the map, taking those watchtowers. Let's see, making his way down here. Elfi wants to make sure that he does not lose that probe, reacts very quickly, and right now the probe is running these Zerglings. Zergling speed about halfway done, and we do see that the first sentry on the way for Elfi as well as warp gate tech. Dimaga wants to position this Overlord so that he knows exactly when the expansion goes down, and getting down his own expansion around that 21-22 food mark, which he has been in the previous few games. And again, we see him doing a nice job with these Zerglings, making sure that they are roaming all around and checking for proxy pylons, proxy gateways, any sort of shenanigans. This is the final rubber match between these two, so Dimaga really wants to make sure that Elfi is not able to cheese him in any way, as he does have both these towers, and he's got just great view all over the map. He's got a bead on this probe as well, so Elfi will not be able to bring anything across the map and do any sort of cheesy play. We do see that I believe the sentry was finished. Yes, it has, and it looks like it was searching the inside of Elfi's base there for any sort of stray overlords. Might have actually hit that one, not really sure. And now Elfi does have out the gateways, or the few gateways here going down, 2 extra ones in addition to that first, and placing down that pylon, so we will be going for the fast expand. At this point, Dimaga is just going to come out with 5 more drones. So again, he's going to see this fast expand, and he's going to be droning up here. I imagine he does not believe that Elfi would have the balls to go for a second fake 3-gate expand into 4-gate. So instead, he's just going to be reacting like he would against any sort of 3-gate, and that's to continue to drone up here. It is now 29-24, so Elfi actually cut probes here for a little bit. So trying to get out a few more sentries and zealots to protect against this expansion, and this is a relatively early expansion for Elfi. Around the 32 food mark is when this did come out. Now adding this forge here, so he's going to place 1 cannon, and this is kind of the style which In Control likes, opening up 3 gates with a lot of sentries, placing down that forge, and then placing 1 cannon by the natural here. It's going to protect from any sort of timing on roach burrow play, and it's going to start taking out a few of the Zerglings if the Zerglings do make their way into the natural mineral line here. So it looks like Dimaga at this point getting up his lair tech. It's about halfway done, and Elfi working on hallucination. So this is something that we have not seen in the first two games yet, but he's got a lot of sentries that are getting quite high on energy, and he's going to be able to use this hallucination to scout a little bit. He can use hallucinated phoenix, and he can also try to fake some tech if Dimaga does not have any sort of detectors. Dimaga at this point just droning up like a boss is 42 probes, or 42 drones to 28 probes, and also coming out with a few roaches. So this would be the timing that Elfi would come with any sort of gateway pressure off of 3 gates following that warp gate tech finishing a few moments ago. And it looks like Dimaga running around there with that Zergling. He's going to see the count on these sentries. And now we do see the hallucinated Phoenix coming out for Elfi. So if we follow this Phoenix, he's going to be able to get a lot of information. We do see both burrow and roach speed on the way for Dimaga, and just continues to drone up here. He's not feeling very threatened at the moment. He's got quite a few drones, 47 to 32. So if Elfi does not push out and do something with this army, I imagine Dimaga's economy is quickly going to overtake his, already up to 1,300 minerals per minute compared to about the 1,000 that Elfi has. Elfi does have this second base up and running at this point, but the Zerg just out macroing in the early going here. A few more roaches coming out, and it looks like we have a robotics bay coming out for Elfi. So he's working off these 3 gates. He gets out a fast robotics facility there, and then he's going to try to get up this fast bay and get out a few Colossus, try for some sort of timing push off of these 2 bases. Continues to use this Phoenix to scout here, and he has seen that Dimaga has finished that lair tech, and it looks like Dimaga kind of reading Elfi's mind here, getting down the spire. So that's going to perfectly counter these Colossus as they do start coming out. Elfi doing a nice job timing-wise there, making sure that he has this first Colossus chrono boosted out. And I imagine he's going to be pushing out when he has 2 or 3 Colossus, trying to take advantage of a timing. Dimaga getting down this gold expansion, so continues to macro up. He's got 50 harvesters to the 42 of Elfi, so a superior economy at this point. If we check the army tab, he actually has a superior army as well. Elfi just has all of these sentries still left over from the early going. Quite a few are at max energy, very high energy, so he's going to try to control any sort of encounter with those force fields. Going to be very good against roaches and Zerglings alike. And now it looks like Dimaga throwing down both an evolution chamber and a Hydralisk den. So Hydralisks are going to rip apart the gateway units of Elfi, and if he's able to get up some Corruptors once the Spire finishes, he could combat these Colossi as well. And it looks like a Zergling was able to make it up there. I'm not really sure if Dimaga saw much of anything. It looks like he did see the robotics facility early on, and now using these Zerglings to try to take down the destructible rocks. He did see that Colossi, so now he's got 8 Corruptors on the way, and those 8 Corruptors are going to destroy this Colossus. It looks like a second Colossus on its way out for Elfi, so 2 Colossus not going to take on, or not going to be able to withstand the firepower of 8 Corruptors. That's quite a few Corruptors in the early going, trying to use these force fields to get some free Zerglings. Elfi's able to do that, evening up the army count just a little bit. If we check the supply though, 119 to now 102. So Elfi pretty far behind at this point, and you got to give it to Dimaga's economy. 56 harvesters, he's on the gold base now. And it looks like Elfi at some point has to push out with these Colossi and do some sort of damage, as Dimaga once again working on the back door. Once these destructible rocks do come down, he's going to be able to flood Zerglings into the base of Elfi anytime he wants. Elfi does have another Colossi coming out, so perhaps waiting for 3 Colossi. A few more Zerglings coming out over here into the natural of Elfi, so he's able to take down a probe or 2. If we check the income count, it is 56 to 45. So Dimaga quite a ways ahead. He's on that gold as well, and now he's got Hydras as well as all these Corruptors out on the middle of the field. And I'm not sure that Elfi is going to be able to take on the army of Dimaga. If we check the army tab, it is 3,900 to 3,400. But quite a bit of resource advantage now, 163 to 116. So Dimaga quite a bit ahead here. And now it looks like Elfi going to try to take out this third if he could get a force field or 2 and try to cut off the units here of Dimaga. But no, in come the Corruptors, and they're going to quickly focus down these Colossi. One Colossi already down, another one all the way down to very, very low health now. Looks like both Colossi very low health. These Corruptors are just shredding those Colossi. Nice force fields by Elfi, restricting the movement of these roaches and the Hydralisks. But once these force fields go down, it looks like more and more units arriving for Dimaga. He's got 16, 15 roaches on the way, and some more units rallied from the south, and entirety of Elfi's forces going to be going down here. Corruption going down on those stalkers, so taking extra damage. Some more stalkers coming in from behind, trying to clean up the forces of Dimaga here, and it looks like they are going to be able to take down the few Hydras at the top of the ramp here, but GG coming from Elfi. A GG coming from Dimaga as well, as he had all these reinforcing roaches. The roaches did have +1 along with those Hydras, and he just had these boss corruptors which just owned the air there. They were quickly able to take down those 3 Colossi, and Dimaga was able to take this game 3 in pretty fine fashion here. Elfi was able to get up his fast expansion, but Dimaga, taking that Q, got up a quick third as well, and just continued to drone up very hard. He had both the drone and the army lead for the majority of the game here, and he just played very defensively. He wanted to fight on creep, he wanted to fight with a home field advantage so he could quickly reinforce if he did lose units. Elfi pushed out to try to take out that gold, and Dimaga did a little bit of a flanking action from the south as well, was able to take down those Colossi quite quickly, and then just rip apart the gateway units with those roaches and the Hydras. So a fine game 3 here. If you're looking for more StarCraft 2 action, I encourage you to check out my channel Matron StarCraft at youtube.com. Thanks for watching this one. Take care.